Hello, my fellow Retrotopians, and welcome to episode 115 of the show, where we will be talking Half-Life. First of all, though, let's talk about our Linktree. Linktree/Retrotopia, where you can find links to our socials, our Discord, which is free to join, so you should. It's always a good time there. Patreon, which is also free to join. And you can comment on the show, and then we have other tiers with other goodies. Then the merch page. So we have cool merch. You should check that out. And hopefully we can add some more soon, because that's a fun time trying to come up with stuff for that. But anyways, it is the 31st of December 2025 here. It is snowing. It is the holiday season. This will be the first episode of 2026. So you get to start the year with me. What else? Holidays. I hope I had a good holiday season. I had a good Christmas. I hope you all had a great Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Boxing Day. We have some folks that celebrate Boxing Day, which I've learned is like just a glorified, maybe there's more meaning behind it, but it kind of sounds like it was described in our Discord as Canadian Black Friday, which is fine. And are there any other holidays? If I missed one, it's not intentional, but if you celebrate anything you celebrate, I hope you had a happy one and got to spend it with family and friends. And tonight is New Year's, and we're actually going to see the Stranger Things finale in the theater. That's how we're going to celebrate. So, yeah, looking forward to 2026. Lots of good games on the horizon. It's been a great year of the show, and looking forward to next year as well. Let's hear from you. Speaking of friends and family, let's get started with the general comments and questions section, which we call the 9-bit banter box. All right. New Year Yoshi says, Samsterdam, what is your favorite color of Yoshi? And I thought of this two ways, Yoshi. Either blue or light blue if I'm going with color preference. Or I would say if you're playing a Yoshi game 2-player, like Yoshi's Crafted World or something like that, any color that's distinct enough that I can tell who I'm playing as. Like none of this like orange and yellow or blue and light blue. Like that can be really confusing when you're playing kind of a two-handed Yoshi game. Otherwise, I'm usually picking the blue one, or I'll save that one for last, if like so it's the last one that dies. Like if you're playing Yoshi's Story. Also, really like the black Yoshi and the white Yoshi, because I think those are like special ones that you can get in like Yoshi's Story. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, those ones are fun. This is the other way I thought of it. Super Mario World. I like the fire-breathing red one. And I like all the Yoshis, the different colored ones at different powers. Like, I think the blue one, I think, turned into a bubble and floated or something like that. Those are always cool when you got, like, different... I might be conflating that with... This is getting a little long for such a simple question, but... I like that the different Yoshis in some of the Mario games have, like, different powers depending on different colors, so... That's always fun. Big Brown Dog says, Sam, you and your two beagles have just stepped into some of the ooze. You mutate a la TMNT. Your beagles mutate with human-like features, and you cross-mutate with another animal. Just like Splinter, what names befitting their new life do you give your beagle ninja warriors, and what animal creature would you mutate into? I like this. This is a creative question. Let's see. Well, there's two beagles. So I'm trying to think of like a good, like obviously the turtles have the Renaissance painter name. So I was trying to think of like, it's a boy and a girl. So I was thinking of like, what are like some famous duets? And I was like, I'm going to name them Carter and Cash. I think that would be fun as hell. And then I'd probably get crossed with like a squirrel or a rabbit or something like that. And then they'd freak out and chase me around. Yeah, that's probably the most likely scenario, since those are very common in my neighborhood. Thank you. That was a great question. All right. The Big Deal says both City Escape and Sonic Adventure 2 and New Donk City in Super Mario Odyssey proved that city levels can work in games where you least expect it. What is another game that has no business including a city level that you think could surprisingly work? I answered this one two ways also. I've always been a fan of starting at, like, this is an RPG trope, starting in like a tiny town and then finding some huge gigantic city somewhere, down the line. Like, great examples like Saffron and Cerulean cities in Pokemon Gen 1. And also, like, a more recent example, I wouldn't have thought that Lumoise in Pokemon ZA would have been fun. If you would have told me, like, oh, this new Pokemon game takes place in one giant city, I'd be like, because I like the world and going town to town, but it worked. It was cool. That was one aspect of the game that I really liked, was the city was kind of neat. So that's a good example of one that worked when I didn't think it would. And also, I'm starting to play Donkey Kong Bonanza right now, and so far I really like it. I've only just started it, but so I don't have much of an idea of what's coming down the line, but I think some sort of a city level would be neat. Also, space. Like, can you imagine Donkey Kong in space would be cool. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see once I get further if those things are part of the game. But excellent question. Thank you. All right, and next, Hoolie's Pet Dinosaur says, Jesus, sex-soliciting sausage-sucking Sam. God, good Lord. You've been cursed to live the rest of your days with only one CD, one video game, and one movie. What do you choose? First of all, you're a monster. But I thought about this, and I think I went outside the box with at least a couple of my choices. CD. I'm going to pick Temple of the Dog. Hear me out. It is if you're not sure what Temple of the Dog is, it was like a grunge supergroup that it was basically just like Soundgarden, but also like elements of Pearl Jam. Yeah, it was Pearl Jam, because there was a pretty good duet with Chris Cornell and Eddie Vedder, but also, like, it's basically like if the band itself was Pearl Jam but had Chris Cornell singing. It's just got a little bit of everything. Yeah, I think that's what I would pick. Temple of the Dog is the CD. The game, this is another outside the box pick for me. I'm going to pick World of Warcraft. I haven't played a lot of World of Warcraft, and I don't currently. I think I played it a little tiny bit when it kind of was a bit newer, first came out. I think I was probably in college. I just would like a game that has a lot of just kind of different endless possibilities and kind of an open world. And maybe has like an iterative, like different expansions and stuff and different regions you can go to. Like, I guess Breath of the Wild would be kind of a similar pick in that sense, like an open world game. But I don't know, World of Warcraft, there's all kinds of classes. It's got the RPG elements. I think that's something I could like endlessly play and not get. Maybe I would get tired of it, but I don't know, whatever. If I could only play one game, I would want something that has a lot of mileage on it. And the movie, I just can't. The Empire Strikes Back. It's my favorite movie. I know it's just one of all of the Star Wars movies, and I would probably miss some of the others, but I'm going to take that one. That's my favorite. Yeah, that's it. Those are my picks. That's a fucking horrible question. I'd probably figure out something else to do with my time. Those are the only three things I can interact with. All right. Fill up my mouth with farts says, okay, so Hollywood has officially run out of ideas. Full stop. Yes, they have. And they have decided to make a movie on the friendship, rise, and eventual fall of Retrotopia. My question is, who do you cast to play yourself and your co-hosts? That's a fun question, too. All right. Alan, that's an easy one. Alan's played by Matt Berry. If you know, you know. Laszlo from What We Do in the Shadows. He's in all kinds of stuff. He's hilarious. Brian would be played by Damian Lewis, who is Captain. I think he's Captain Lieutenant Winter in Band of Brothers. He is our commander and a famous acting redhead. So that's Brian. And then I always feel weird like picking someone for myself. I'm gonna pick. I think this is how you say it, Mark Duplass from. We've been watching The League, and it's just like I'm kind of more of a. Gosh, what's his name in the show? I can't even remember. I don't know. I just get that vibe from that guy. So yeah, that would be my character then. That's another great question. Thank you. Man, I'd love to see that movie then. That's a fun cast. All right, let's get to choose one, lose one.
Ladies and gentlemen, roll up and choose your power-up from the game of the week. You pick a power, we pick a consequence. It's choose one, lose one, the game where everyone's a loser.
All right, our first submission to choose one, lose one comes from Big Brown Dog, who says, I would like to have the ability to carry around as many things on my person as a man who can carry 14 different weapon types, including almost 600 rounds of ammunition. Like, where does he even keep all these things? His suit doesn't even have any pockets. Oh, there's a pocket. You remember Hermione's bag from Harry Potter 7 that's enchanted to carry a ton of stuff in it? It's that, except it's your butthole. So there you go. You can carry 600 rounds of ammunition and several weapons up your butthole. Fallen Snow Kiku says, I'd love an HEV suit to recover from major and minor injuries. Well, that's great, but as we've mentioned, you will hear it. We mentioned it a little bit. Your body's protected from injuries, but like the depictions of Gordon, you are not wearing a helmet, so good luck from the neck up. All right, next comes from Dave McGee, who says, I choose to actually know about this game. Well, great, but in the spirit of choose one, lose one, every time you go to fire up this episode, something will come up to prevent you from being able to listen. So then you won't get to know about this. New Year, New Yoshi 94 says, I want to have more than half a life. And all I have to say to that is 0.51. Hoolie's Pet Dinosaur says, I would like one Tau cannon, please, for reasons. Sorry, Hoolie. We're all out of Tau cannons, but you can have a beta cannon, which is something you get to hold while watching other people use a Tau cannon. Game Genius says, this is a toughie, but most obvious comes to mind. I want to be able to run around with a crowbar and bash the hell out of head crabs. I would say, yes, you can do that, but you're cursed to have a job then where you're a caterer for a company that exclusively holds head crab boils. You won't be wasting all those crabs you bashed. Thanks, everyone, for playing. Hopefully you got a kick out of our responses or my responses to that. Let's turn it over to Alan now for the gentleman's interlude.
Welcome, valued Black Mesa personnel. Before you clock in for your shift in theoretical physics, please review this educational reenactment known to the public as Half-Life, a computer game developed by Valve Corporation and released on November 19th, 1998. Valve, founded by former Microsoft employees Gabe Newell and Mike Harrington, assures us this is fiction, but HR insists we treat it as a cautionary training scenario. In Half-Life, you assume the role of Dr. Gordon Freeman, a theoretical physicist with an impressive resume and a concerning lack of voiced opinions. Your workday begins like any other. Report to the Black Mesa Research Facility, ride the tram, ignore ominous warning signs, and participate in a routine experiment involving a highly unstable alien crystal. As outlined in Safety Memo 7B, this is the exact moment things go wrong. The experiment triggers what Black Mesa officially labels a resonance cascade, a phrase meaning everything breaks. Interdimensional portals open, alien life forms appear without proper visitor badges, and the facility descends into chaos. Please note, running, screaming, and improvised use of scientific equipment as defensive tools are not recommended responses, though the game suggests otherwise. As Dr. Freeman, you navigate research labs, hazardous waste processing, and maintenance tunnels while attempting to reach the surface and get help. Management would like to clarify that this was never part of the approved emergency plan. Along the way, you encounter fellow scientists offering advice such as, "We're doomed," and security guards demonstrating textbook firearm safety by firing continuously down hallways. Half-Life distinguishes itself by telling its story entirely in real time, with no cutscenes or breaks, much like an actual Black Mesa shift, where there is never a good moment to take a breath. The game blends action, puzzles, and environmental storytelling to demonstrate why OSHA regulations exist and why crystals sampled should be labeled very clearly. In conclusion, Half-Life serves as an engaging reminder to always follow protocol, question management decisions, and never assume an experiment is perfectly safe. Thank you for your attention. Please proceed to the hazard suit fitting area.
All right, thanks, Alan. And now let's hear from some of you and your thoughts on the game of the week before we get to talking about it. First, we have Big Brown Dog, who says, Half-Life stems from those halcyon days of yesteryear where you could unapologetically be a one-man army without having to provide a logical reason. Like, if I can't carry around several sidearms, multiple machine guns, an RPG, and several clumsy-looking experimental weapons alongside a capacity of ammunition, then why am I even getting out of bed in the morning? I'm perhaps a little out of touch with modern-day FPS games, but it seems like so many games nowadays limit the number of weapons you can carry, which never feels right for a video game. The world forces me to choose which weapons I should leave behind, then I say the world can just save itself. I'm going back to bed. Good point. I like that both your choose one, lose one, and your comment on the game has to do with the absurd amount of stuff that Gordon can carry. And I was just thinking, like, there's one weapon where it's just like a bug that you just throw and just like wreaks havoc. Like, where are you keeping that when you're not actively equipping it? Maybe I don't want to know. Speaking of my response to your question. Oh, it gives a new meaning to having a bug up your butt. Anyway, Fallen Snow Kiku says, Half-Life 2 is one of my favorite games ever, and yet somehow I didn't play the first one till a few years ago. For a PC game from 1998, I think it's just as good as the sequel. You can really see how influential it is, not just shooters, but games as a whole. Yes, absolutely. I think I'm with you. All of my Half-Life memories, even though I do remember Half-Life and it coming out and kind of playing around with it a little bit, I think most of my Half-Life memories are the beginning of Half-Life 2. So it was good to go back and play this one. And yeah, it is very influential, that's for sure. But does it hold up? We'll find out. Yeah, hear us talk about it. Released in 1998, developed and published by Valve. First came out on the PC, but now it's pretty much on everything. Alan played it on the PS2 for crying out loud. Yeah, let's start the show. All right, we are here to talk Half-Life, and with me is scientist Brian and a man infested with head crabs, Alan. How are you guys doing?
It's true, actually. It's
better than his regular crabs.
Well, you know, they meet up every once in a while, compare notes, and then go to their respective body parts. That's
their
very
respective
disgusting.
heads.
Yeah. Oh, and not even 30 seconds, already derailed. I'm good, Sam. Thank you very much for asking. Bit itchy, but otherwise okay.
Bit itchy from the from the head crab. Head crabs makes it sound just like lice, but it's really just like a face hugger, more like.
It is. It's a big gross thing.
Oh, those were
pretty cool,
disgusting.
actually.
Yeah. Anyways, Half-Life. 1998 PC. Got some late 90s PC vibes going here. Did you guys play this when it came out?
Yes. Well, no, not right when it came out. When did I play it? My brother gifted me his computer when he joined, or when he finished college and I joined the military. So I upgraded that computer right away like a moron because that's how I learned about predatory loans. And the first game I bought was Half-Life.
Nice.
Oh.
Not
So
the loans,
pretty much
but
back in the day.
Half-Life.
Yeah, this is back in the early 2000s.
Okay.
I had never played this game before in my life, and it was like one of those. You ever have those massive holes in your like gaming history? It was one of those games that I'd heard so much about, and was like, I have to get around to playing this one day, and it just so happened now was the time, and kind of gutted that I didn't actually play it back in the day first. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think playing it now, it definitely, I would say, shows its age. I also played it when it first came out, but I was maybe a little young for how difficult it is. I guess like difficult it gets. You know, it's not completely difficult. In PC games, you can always kind of save scum. That was always like kind of an element of PC gaming, in my opinion, was that like most games you could kind of like save state and save multiple files so that you could go back if you kind of messed up your run through of any sort of, you know, game you're playing, whether it was shooter or first person or FPS. Oh my god, I'm blanking. Real-time strategy, that's what I'm thinking of. But I have my dad to thank for this one too, because this was kind of like the tail end of the time that we had plenty of computer games, because he was kind of into it and playing online and stuff. So I think he got this more to play online, which there was kind of an online. This was a huge online game. Didn't
well,
it?
There was
The engine
couple.
kind of.
This is what spawned Counter-Strike.
Yes.
Day of Defeat, and I think that's it. Maybe Team Fortress.
I think
that's
I think
kinda
you're
neat.
right. That sounds
So-
familiar.
The legacy of this game, then, would you say it's more? And you know, I genuinely don't know. Is the legacy of this game more to do with how it revolutionized the first-person shooter genre, or more how it revolutionized that sort of online competitive play?
It
think it's
revolutionized gaming, period. This is
Yeah.
one of the most important games because it is the first game that I can recall. I'm not going to say this is absolutely factual, but this is what I understand. This is the first game that avoided using like rendered movies for cutscenes, and it was all done in game, so everybody talked. That's why there's no cutscenes in this game.
Yeah.
It's just done in engine. It's done as you play the game, and it was one of the first ones to have that, and it's kind of been emulated throughout the history of video games since.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that. I actually saw that come up when I was poking around at some of the information about this game, and yeah, you're absolutely right. It did. Everywhere I looked seemed to say that was a big deal for the time.
And I do remember it being
because
huge when
this
it came out.
after Final Fantasy VII, and you remember
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII being huge for its graphics, but it had full motion videos through the entire thing. Like Final Fantasy VIII has full motion videos.
Excellent ones, yeah. Just
Trying
like
to
that
think
game
of
is
other ones
excellent.
off the top of my head, and but yeah, instead of like in-game talking and stuff, it was always pre-rendered cutscenes or full motion videos to do the heavy lifting to make it look graphically great. And this game just said fuck that, and they just did it all in game.
Right. So
Cool.
it doesn't look. I mean, like especially playing it now. Like back then, it looked, you know, serviceable, and it was pretty cool to see like characters
Oh my God.
interacting in real time. and stuff.
Photorealistic.
Right. I mean, nowadays
That's
it
how
kind of
everybody moved around.
it almost kind of looks like the N64 like Bond faces, but just talking versions of them at points, which I mean the graphics just haven't aged the greatest, but I think that the things that we take for granted in games now of just like seamless like dialogue or characters just kind of like talking to you as you go by and stuff like that. It really started here, and I remember it being a big deal when it came out too, that this was a kind of a revolutionary game.
I don't know. I don't
was.
like. I
I'll go.
So, I was sorry, Brian. I was just going to say I played the version on the PlayStation 2, which admittedly is probably where most of my problems with the game came from. Like, I feel like if I have any gripes about this game, it's hard for me to know if I'm getting the best experience out of it. I know probably anyone worth their salt will say no, you need to play the PC version. But even on PS2, I thought this game looked really good. Even now, like the textures, the backgrounds, the scenery, and I thought the sort of character animations were all pretty good. I think they were a far cry from something like GoldenEye.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I
amazing
wasn't.
What they did.
I didn't mean to say it looked like GoldenEye. I just meant to say, like, if you look really closely, like, you could tell that it's you could see its age. It's
Sure.
Yeah, I guess I didn't mean to disparage Half-Life. Like, it's no better than GoldenEye, and people are probably like, "What? Who is this guy?
Yeah,
shut him up."
But back at this time, this game was like, I guess, gorgeous for the graphics, if you want to put it that way.
Oh, it was the top.
And the gameplay, like Alan, you're saying the gameplay on the PS2 is what is one of your gripes, and I probably would agree with you, because this game really feels like it was designed for the keyboard and mouse.
Oh, I could not agree with you more.
Yeah, it just if, like, for me, when I play first-person shooters, I like to do it on my PC. I find it a lot easier to move around and aim, and it's almost like analog before analog existed, using the keyboard and mouse. And this game just absolutely nails the controls. Like, I think it also one of the games that standardized PC controls as well.
See, we will definitely get into the controls when we get to that part, but I think we're going to have very, very different things to say, because you're right, I did have a fairly awful time controlling this game, I'm not going to lie. And I don't I don't play PC games, but even while I was playing this, I was just thinking, I can imagine full blown that this is a lot easier with a mouse and a keyboard, even if I probably couldn't play it. If you're familiar with that hardware, then yeah, I could absolutely see how this would control a fuck of a lot better.
Yeah, it does. I would say I kind of split the difference between you two, because I have Steam Deck and PC, and first of all, I mean, let's just shout out Steam again for how seamless their platform is. Like, I had my save file on my Steam Deck, and then it, boots up to the cloud or whatever. And as long as I had the game saved and closed on my Steam Deck, I could flip open my PC and just pick up right where I left off. Between the two. Yeah, it's
cloud saving is really the best thing to come out of the internet.
Yeah, it was amazing. So, like, I preferred to sit and play on the PC because I had an easier time with it. But like, if I wanted to sit downstairs and be in front of the TV or whatever, I could play a little bit of Half-Life on my Steam Deck, and that was kind of cool to flip back and forth. But definitely had a harder time on the Steam Deck.
Well,
Again, I don't know why the keyboard and mouse makes it so much easier, but, like, we might as well get into controls. We're right there right now. You guys, I know you had a lot of gripes about the ladders and the fact that you would jump and basically slide right off the side of the ladder and down you go. I never had that problem using the straight PC controls. I would use the mouse to aim at the ladder, and then boom, I'd just be on it, I'd be climbing it, and maybe once or twice I slipped off a ladder, but didn't happen as much as you guys made it seem to happen to you.
Fucking ladders. Like, and thankfully the PS2 version does have autosave. Like, it's a quick save rather. Because I would have to do that in front of any jump that ended in a ladder, because I would be dead square on looking right at this fucking ladder, and I would make that jump, and Gordon there would literally just bounce off the ladder, and I was like, well, what the fuck? And it's just like, well, I can either just go all the way back up and round and through the building and up onto the ledge and all the rest of it. It's just like, no, fuck that. I'm just gonna load. And boy, when I tell you I save scummed this game, like, absolutely. I don't think I would have beaten this game if not for being able to save before almost every encounter.
I save scum the hell out of a PC shooter. I don't even care. Like, just get past an encounter of, like a group of enemies or whatever, save. Because not only do I not want to do it again, you don't know what's coming around the corner. Like, you could get wiped out around the corner and then have to do, 2 encounters in a row that are difficult. Like, no, I'm going to save my time.
Yeah.
See,
no, sorry, go on,
I just went with the autosave. I didn't even think about that. I died a couple of times and I went back a little bit, but it seems to save frequently enough that you don't end up too far back. Mind you,
right?
If you're doing something like the train car levels there, and it auto saves like once every time the screen reloads, and that happens like every 20 minutes, so you can lose some progress there.
Yeah, that's where I think I had the most problem with it.
Are you talking about on the rail? That level?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
You son of... That was one of my most hated levels in the game. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about controls. I don't know what it was. I just found it really slidey, which, again, is probably down to the PS2 port. But, I had the worst possible time, even just crawling into vents, just lining shit like that up. And lining every jump up, like I would just press left or right on the analog stick there, and old Mr. Freeman would literally just throw himself off of whatever he was on. And
it is like it's like a Luigi first-person shooter. Like, he can jump pretty good and everything, but he's gonna slide off the platform that you just landed on. Absolutely. I had the same problem, Alan.
All I had to do was nudge that stick, and like I'd fallen off of whatever. And this game requires you to do some pretty specific platforming, which I was not expecting from a first-person shooter.
Yeah, that's kind of new. Between this game and Quake 2, like, the fully realized 3D space with, like being able to look around and jump and all that kind of stuff was pretty revolutionary.
Oh, I had such a hard time with it.
No, yeah, it's another thing. Like one really good thing about the keyboard and mouse controls is you moved where you were aiming. So you had the little reticle in the middle of the screen there, and all you had to do was just aim it where you wanted to land, and that seems to be where Gordon would actually go to. And maybe they just fucked up the control scheme on the PlayStation 2, because apparently it's not like a Valve port over there. It's a company took control of it, and...
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Oh, that's interesting.
What am I looking at here?
See, because everything you've just described about, that you follow where the mouse goes, in principle, is the same with a twin stick. I'm looking around with the second analog stick, so I should, in theory, be going where that's pointed at. But it's just not as good as a mouse, and I feel dirty saying that. I feel like I'm betraying my my console roots, but...
Well, here, you got this. In 1999, Hammerhead Limited made a prototype test level for the planned PlayStation port of Half-Life using their in-house custom 3D engine while developing the PS1 port of Quake 2. So, not
Quake
done
2.
with not done with the Valve team, just a company that ports games over, so...
Ooh, and our friends at Sierra were involved.
Yes.
Yeah, blame them.
Yes, I did notice that. And I think... Did I remember seeing Gearbox on this thing?
Yes.
No. Yeah?
Yeah.
No.
It's always nice to have a consensus.
No, some of the like covers that I'm looking at for PlayStation 2 say Gearbox. What's significant about Gearbox?
Oh, well, they just made Borderlands, which obviously is a series very near and dear to me.
Yeah, so that's... You can see the influence of this game all over the place. Like we just mentioned Sierra, who, we've talked about Fear, and I'm playing the expansion of Fear right now. It's like, yeah, this feels very similar to what Half-Life did. Only better.
They made the offshoots Half-Life Opposing Force, Blue Shift, and Decay.
Are those like
what are those?
expansions? I'm seeing Blue Shift here.
Blue Shift is the game from the perspective of the the guard, the guy who ends up becoming the guard in Half-Life 2.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, they retconned some of the characters. Like, all the guards were generic in the what's it called? We're all like generic characters in the game, and they retconned a few characters.
Okay.
Like, what's Eli something there? He was just a generic scientist number 6, and then they retconned him for Half-Life 2. And as I talk, I'm trying to find the friggin' tab I had open with all that information, and of course I can't find it. So I've been talking nonstop to try to do it.
This is a good way to segue into story, though, because what did you guys think of this story? It's like it seems kind of, I guess, old hat now.
You want me to?
I mean, yeah. Summarize
here?
it if you will, because I mean, otherwise, I was just gonna say, like, there's a lot of stuff kind of like this in our, in science fiction now. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, well, this is probably stolen right from science fiction, but yeah, I got the wiki open here. I'll give it a quick summary. So it's in a remote area of New Mexico, United States, at the Black Mesa Research Facility. It's kind of like Area 51 meets the Los Alamos National Laboratory. So you take on the role of Dr. Freeman, a recent MIT graduate in theoretical physics, and also a recent employee at Black Mesa, who you arrive in that stupidly long cutscene at the beginning.
Yep.
And you're doing an experiment there where you're bringing these forms, not sure what they're called, but you're creating a massive dimensional rift, and something goes wrong. Of course, everything always goes wrong, and it blows open the rift into your universe, and all these monsters start coming out. Now, what's a good video game without an evil military to be your enemy? So between the monsters and the opposing military, you end up having to try to escape Black Mesa, which ends up turning into you closing the rift and killing the big bad guy. I'm not even sure what the big bad guy's name is. So you do this by going through the Black Mesa facility, and eventually you end up inside the rift of where all these enemies come from, and yeah, that's pretty much the plot. All the while you're trying to avoid being killed by an enemy military. Oh yeah, and there's the introduction of the G-Man, who's never named by name in this series.
Well, a couple of things. Like one of the things that I never really got while I was playing was what exactly, or what the purpose of them trying to kind of like, I think the tear in reality was kind of a mistake, maybe, or was it? But like, what was their stated objective in their experimentation in that opening scene?
I think they were just experimenting with the life forms that came out of these tears, and
okay.
Yeah, they were just trying to, I guess, open a door or something like that to, like scientists do. They want to do something to destroy the world, and they'll do it. And Gordon's entire job was just like a little bitch boy for the first game, and
that's right.
Yeah, he just happened to be in there when shit went wrong, and of course he was wearing the power suit, and he survived where others didn't.
Well, I mean, he's directly responsible for everything going wrong, because you yourself put this, because they're experimenting on that crystal, right? Which I'm not sure where they got from. But yeah, you push that crystal into that beam or what have you, and it causes, and I still don't know what this means, but I fucking love the sound of it, the resonance cascade. Which cool. Basically it does, doesn't it? I love that.
It's like
which basically just punches holes in reality between this world and another world. And let me ask you this: is this game Doom for the mathcore nerds? If Doom is for your heavy metal and deathcore sort of, is this not just? This is Doom for mathcore. It's science Doom. It's same basic principle, right?
This is like the nerd with the pocket protector, but the fucking big muscles there, and he's just like, let's do some meth.
Meth or math? Or both?
Yeah, both.
I've never heard it put that way, but that makes so much sense.
It is. But man. No, I actually, I mean, it's hard to say that this is basic as far as story goes, because, I mean, it's a first-person shooter for a start. The fact that it's got a story to begin with is good enough for me, and I like the sort of intrigue of not knowing, because you really don't know what's going on throughout this game, and I think that's the lack of cutscenes and what have you really do keep you in the dark.
You don't even have to stop to talk to people most of the time to find out what's going on. Like Half-Life 2 will put you into checkpoints where you kind of have to listen to the story. This game really didn't have that as you're running through. So some guy, you could like pass a scientist who has great information about the story, and you could just run past him because he's nothing. You don't need him until you need to open up a door, and then from that point, it's just literally you don't care. You just want to carry on. Yeah, no, you're right. This story is very weak in that sense that if you don't take the time, you're not going to know what's going on.
Yeah, and I found that to be a blessing and a curse, because like background, like there's very good spatial audio in this game. So like as you walk closer to a character, if they're talking to you, they will get louder as you walk towards them. And if you are in the middle of doing something and they talk to you and you miss it, like it's very easy to miss stuff.
Yeah. But it's there if you want to look for it, and the sound is a hell of a lot better than Fear was. I can actually hear people talking in this one.
See, I can't comment on that because when I played the Steam version, they'd done a 25th anniversary major update that like updated the game to better sound, better graphics, all that kind of stuff, and so I really did play a beefed up version of this game, so
nice. Well, it's good that we all played. I had slightly different experiences, but I wanted to touch on something you said there, Brian, about that stupidly long sort of, I guess it's not even really a cutscene, but that intro.
Do you want to, before you get into it, do you want to know something fun about that train you're on?
Yes, always.
What they did to make that train move was they actually took a character and put a train as its head, and the character's just running down the track.
Oh. Well, that's from this. I've seen that.
Yeah.
I didn't know what game it was from, though. Oh my god, that is brilliant.
Wait.
That's so clever.
Run that past me again. What?
Okay, so instead of having a train on a track and making up the physics and all that for it,
yeah,
what they did was they took a character model, say one of the scientists, and then they just replaced his head with the train car, and it just runs along the track.
I can't even imagine why that was necessary, but I'm so glad it happened. But I thought that opening scene was genius. Like, I mean, yeah, I could hear the argument that it was a bit overlong, but it really, like, right from the beginning gives you a sense of the scale of Black Mesa. And it's just like, well, I'm going further and further and further into this place, and I know just from that opening scene that my objective is to get out of that place, because it's really like driving home just how deep you're going. And I thought that was a really clever way of sort of establishing, right, you're in a maze, like you're going to have to get out of this place, and you're seeing places that you may be traversing later on, and it was just a really good way of building up that almost character that Black Mesa itself is.
Now, I don't disagree with you on anything, but if you've played the game before, that cutscene should be skippable.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Because it doesn't add anything to it except for giving you basic information and kind of setting the scene of Black Mesa. So, playing it again, I just literally turned around and started playing on my phone until the whole thing was done or I had to move, because it is just one of those... I think it's one of the faults of this game is the fact that you can't skip that. Like, I know technology existed back then where it could put a little save file in there to say you've done it before and now you never need to do it again if you don't want to. But it's just some games that take this long to get into the action almost kill it for me nowadays.
Yeah, I would say that I think I did try it as a kid, and I would have been, when this came out, I would have been like 11. So short enough attention span to begin with, but like if I were to hit like a spot where I would get stuck relatively early on, and I'd say this game gets off to kind of a slow start. Like, yeah, there's like a big bang when the event happens that kind of rips space-time or whatever, but as you're trying to kind of work your way out initially, it is a little bit slow, and all you have is like the crowbar and maybe the pistol. if I were to encounter any difficulties or get stuck somewhere after sitting through that long cutscene, like I might bail on this game. It's like
I hadn't
slow.
considered that, but that is a really good point. I mean, obviously this was my first ever experience, and like for me, it was really good at establishing that world. But I was now that you're saying that, yeah, I suppose on my second or third playthrough, if I ever do such a thing, and admittedly it's up in the air, yeah, I think that might be. I can see your point.
Yeah,
definitely. Go have a tea or something while you're waiting for the train to arrive.
Well, that was it. For me, it was like I've seen it enough times. I played this game maybe 5 or 6 times through my life, and a couple of times I started it, but that opening scene kills it for me. And it just let me at least be walking within the first few minutes. Don't take like 20 minutes to do this slow train ride down these tracks while you get to see everybody else walking and moving, and it gives you like a safety video.
Well, here's the funny thing is like, how late must that train have made Gordon? Because once he gets off that train, how fast does that guy move?
Oh my god! Like, you'd have made it quicker from the front door to the like he just bolts, and that was half of my problem in the early game. I just could not control him. There was no. I mean, I suppose you could crouch everywhere, but then that's.
Don't quote me, but I think he's always on sprint, and you actually have to turn that off in the settings from auto sprint to sprint by button or whatever.
Are you telling me that was a possibility? I'm gonna have to look that up. And Brian, if you are right, I'm coming over there and I'm slapping you.
Okay. I'm going for a beer after.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
At least
you
buy
guys
dinner.
Carry on. I'm gonna look this up. I swear.
Okay. Well, it's funny because now I look at, I play another game like Fear, and Fear does not have anywhere close to this speed. So I'm kind of plotting my way through as the character in Fear. I'm like, good God, this guy is slow. Kind of wish that I ran as fast as Gordon.
I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but when I was young, like when I was just becoming a teenager, they came out with like the 186, 286 computers, and games would actually go as fast as they were designed for whichever processor was. So if you had a 286, the game would be like, you'd move really fast, but if you had a 186, you'd move at half the speed. And it came down to like some games that are built for Microsoft DOS back in the day, if they don't have like a DOS box or something to kind of slow your processor down or slow what it thinks is your processor, the game moves insanely fast. And I remember this on MechWarrior because it moves so slow on our home computer, but when I got a good computer, the game was like way too fast. You couldn't react. And I wonder if this game kind of has that a little bit, like the faster your computer, the faster you move.
Interesting. All I know is that on PS2 it was ridiculously fast, and I've just looked. There is no such control on the PS2.
Oh, so, there isn't. Okay.
No, so
no slap for you.
No slap for you, but we still go and get the beer. That's fine.
All right.
But yeah, just really difficult to. I mean, and I imagine what would this have looked like to the other guys working in Black Mesa? I mean, this guy is just tearing through the place. It's just like, dude, nothing has cascaded yet. Why are you running?
Yeah, could you imagine, like, working at an office where, like, one person is just sprinting the whole time? Like, you're going to a meeting.
Everybody else is stationary, like, just fucking standing around. And you got the one go-getter.
Yeah.
So, good morning, Gordon. Morning.
Tiny Tom Cruise from Family Guy. I don't know if you remember that. Tiny Tom Cruise from Family Guy. He's like running.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Tiny Tom Cruise. Makes sense. I could just imagine, like, hey, you walk in the same way to this meeting, and then, like, the other person you're walking with just sprints.
Yeah. Eager beaver. But yeah.
Oh, man. What? Yeah.
I thought
what
Black Mesa itself was very cool.
Yeah, horrible. I mean, we talked about this a little bit. Terrible safety record. Like, what the fuck is going on in this place? It's very
top
like
secret facility. OSHA's not in there.
I don't know what's worse, like Black Mesa or the Death Star. Like, I don't want to work in either of those places. Like, there are no guardrails over bottomless chasms, and like there's there's water everywhere that's near electricity. Like, you can't have that like there's standards. There's codes to prevent that.
You want to turn on this massive fan blade? Well, go underneath it, turn it on, and then hope you're quick enough to get up past the fan blade before it bisects you.
That was my favorite thing, is like climbing down the ladder into this, control area for this fan, and then you have to flip the switch and quick climb up the ladder before it chops you in half. Like, what the fuck?
No wonder this place went to shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this is something we're not going to talk about because, there's a lot of people that really want to shut us down because of our safety violations.
Well, that's true.
Actually, it's probably
Towers.
Yeah, it's probably quicker for us to mention the successes in our safety program than it is the violations.
Nobody's died, so
Black Mesa.
Nobody's died except for when we accidentally opened a rift in dimensions and a bunch of weird crabs came out and started lashing on everyone's faces.
The most dangerous thing was not the rift; it was the trek to go close the rift or get out of Black Mesa.
Right.
That's true.
Where's
all the emergency exits?
Well, you're how far underground? Like, how many emergency exits can you have at that point?
Well, you'd want something that gets you to the train station at least somehow. That, or there'd be like those metal stairs. Like even the CN Tower, like an insanely tall tower in Canada, has a friggin' staircase that you can go down in case of fire.
That's true. But I guess like part of that, I feel like they kind of explain that away sometimes, where like you try to go a certain way and then it gets blocked by something like, rubble falls and blocks your path. So you got to find your way around. I mean, they kind of conveniently explain it away a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know.
I suppose the one sort of plus point is that at least they had the presence of mind to design every vent in the game large enough for a fully grown man to crawl through, which is not a thing.
Fully grown man wearing a power suit.
Well, yeah, right. No less. Which is not a thing. Air vents are just not that big, but god damn it, when I could get inside it, I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
I've watched Die Hard at least 1,000 times, and air vents are that big. Die Hard is true.
That's right.
Real life story.
Now I know what a TV dinner feels like.
Are you saying you've never crawled around the vents in your house just to go room to room? Sometimes I just take a vent instead of going down the hallway.
Oh no,
I go to the bathroom. Clunk, 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 clunk.
I live in the UK. We don't have vents. We just have holes in the wall.
That's true. You send a chimney sweep up there.
Yeah.
Well, when I was up in one of the bases I worked at, we had a young guy climb in through the ceiling in the bathroom, and he went over the bar, and he ended up falling through the ceiling onto the bar. So there is ways to get through the ceiling even without vents.
Well,
caused a different kind of cascade.
Right. Yeah. Be careful, please. Asbestos cascade.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
If you have
government building, that whole thing was made of asbestos.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I was gonna say like let's not discount the fact that everything was probably made of asbestos also, in addition to no guardrails and switches conveniently located below fan blades.
It just looked like they cut every kind of corner designing this place. It was obviously done on the cheap. And I, frankly, just think it was completely reckless that they were experimenting with interdimensional crystals in the first place.
Well, you know what? As many times as I've played this game, I've never thought about that being a design flaw of an actual building. It never occurred to me. It just never crossed my mind. It's just like, no, that's normal.
Oh, what's not the design flaw? The interdimensional rip?
Well, the pit of acid, of course. You have to have a pit of acid in the game.
Yeah.
Oh my god, why were there so many pits of like acid and toxic waste and all of that stuff?
So much just nuclear waste around that like you would, since you had the power suit, it wasn't affecting you, but you'd see like dead bodies and a bunch of like green glowing goo, and then you could hear like the Geiger counter on your suit clicking.
Yeah.
Which I find funny. It's his suit's protecting him, but he doesn't have a helmet.
Well, it's a magic suit.
Yeah, and no picture. It's just like, yeah, suit protects you from radiation. It's like, how his face is like melting off, but his arms are okay.
He's wearing glasses.
Glasses.
Yeah,
It's
safety
fine.
Glasses. They do nothing.
They do nothing.
Doesn't he have a face shield? He doesn't have a face shield?
No, he just every picture of him, it is like a open-headed suit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the pictures.
Which is cool.
though,
Like, I did get a buzz when I saw that suit because, you know, I don't have to have played Half-Life before to have recognised the significance of that. I was just like, oh, there it is. And same with the crowbar as well. Like,
Oh, yeah.
how iconic is that fucking crowbar?
Oh yeah, for a first weapon of a first-person shooter, that crowbar is just absolutely fantastic.
It really is. And I'll tell you what, it was beautifully rendered, if I might say. It it looked like a proper crowbar. I really liked it.
Millions of dollars went into the development of that crowbar.
And I was just using it to smash up this, I was going to say multi-million-pound scientific base, but as we've established, it was probably done on the cheap, a couple of $100 maybe.
Right.
But I was smashing the fuck out of it. It was so much fun.
I just like, it was really satisfying when like the little crab things would jump out at you and then you would swing the bar at just the right time to just smack it out of midair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they will come from anywhere.
Oh, those.
Yeah.
I hated those crab things. If we're going to get into enemies, let's get into enemies. Those
Yeah, let's
crab
do it.
things are annoying as fuck because they are so hard to hit. Like on your first, you're 9 out of 10 times you're taking a shot from one of those things
Oh,
if
yeah.
they lunge at you because you're not catching them out of midair.
No.
Yeah, but when you do it, it feels good.
I mean, certainly not with a PlayStation controller, because it had this really curious thing on PlayStation where it did kind of have an auto lock on. If you were sort of generally in the vicinity of the enemy, you could press circle and you would lock on to whatever enemy you were looking at. But it was really specific about where you had to look in order to lock on. So half the time I spent most of the fight just trying to lock onto one of these bastards and backpedaling and dodging to the side and taking hits, and it's just like, just let me line this fucking thing up. I just want to kill it. Yeah, they were terrible for that because they're so small and fast moving. And then you got the ones later on that are even faster and kind of explode, I think. And
Yeah.
oh, this game just hates me.
I definitely learned to approach a new room carefully and like kind of just put my cursor, especially playing on the PC, it was easy to just kind of like run the mouse over the room you're about to enter, because sometimes there is a little bit of a lock on, which really helped. So it would help you find the head crabs on the floor, and then you could kind of just pop them quick. And then also those weird things on the ceiling with those like long tongues that will pull you up. Those are just, I mean, they were just stationary traps. So I mean, like one shotgun blast if you were close enough, or a couple of pistol shots and it would kill it. But still, like
barnacles.
Oh, that's what they call them.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of like what they are.
That's what they look like.
Yeah, and it's getting caught by one. Like I didn't get caught by many because I kind of knew to expect them. But when you do get caught by one, you start getting pulled up. It's kind of jarring. It's like, what the fuck? And then you look up, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, it always takes you like half a second because you stop moving and you're like shaking the mouse. You're trying to figure out what the fuck's going on, and all of a sudden your character like goes up a step, and you're like, oh, okay, there, and then it's pick the right weapon, aim up, and kato.
Yeah, luckily you can just shoot up at it.
That's true, but I was never quick enough. I was always just like getting caught by these things, like you say, waiting half a second, then slowly going. I was just like, did I just get raptured or something? What's going on here? And then only after I'd gotten eaten would I realise that I was, because I'd never see those little tendrils that came down.
Yeah,
and again, that is why this game just fucked me around so much, because so much of it was trial and error. Like,
I wonder if they were hard to see on the PS2.
Oh, they were hard to see, yeah, for sure.
Because
They weren't too bad on PC.
I didn't think they were too bad. I would usually be able to see them. Like, I see what you're trying to do.
It's
and
a
even
combination of no doubt being slightly harder to see on PS2, and also me being fully an idiot.
All right.
All right, fair enough. Because sometimes you could see like you could see a bunch of them in the room, and I would just kind of like plot my way across the room. Like I know I have to go over here and here, so I'm gonna shoot those. I'm not gonna shoot this one because I'm not gonna go that way or whatever. You know, like there was kind of some strategy around it, unless you just wanted to kill them all.
Now, I want to see if you guys agree with me. The best enemy in this game is giant testicle spider.
Oh,
Ball
fucking
sack
ball sack spider.
Fucking hated that thing. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
His name is Gonarch.
What is it? Gonad. He's a
Gonad.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That's kind of reminds me of what's that weird spider thing in Zelda it's in a bunch of the games.
Goma?
Oh, the
Goma. Yeah, it kind of gave me that kind of vibe. Just the name of it. Like, man,
I could see that being inspired. It's not
spider
impossible.
names starting with a G. Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that thing was just like at first it was not too bad, and there aren't too many boss fights in this game. I mean, there are enemy encounters that I would consider boss fights, if not in name, but certainly in fucking difficulty. Looking at you, the tank in surface tension, you bastard.
Oh, couple of them.
That level surface tension is one of the reasons that I will probably not play this game ever again, because I aged about 40 years playing that.
It was difficult, and it was lengthy also.
I've been described the same. But yeah, that spider, it started out all right because you had room to maneuver, but when you ended up in that pit underneath the web, it just became ridiculous.
Yeah, everything from the moment that you kind of crossed dimensions finally, like so basically, like the way that you progress through the game, you do end up getting to the surface, you get out, and then I can't remember what drives you back, but basically you have to go back in, and you end up at another, I don't know, piece of equipment that creates a rift, and then you end up with the upgraded suit, and you go into the next dimension. Like you're on like another fucking planet. It reminded me of the end of Ren and Stimpy, like Stimpy's invention, where there's like floating eyeballs and like weird hairs growing out of the ground. Like this place is just weird looking, like really
it is very
alternate
alien
dimension looking.
It's incredibly well designed. The way I remember it is like you do get to the surface, but obviously the military are there trying to hush everything up, so you go back into Black Mesa, and then one of the scientists is just like, you know what, these guys over at the Lambda Core know what's going on, so if you can make it over there, they'll have a plan to sort this whole thing out. And their plan, such as it is well, you seem to be handling yourself okay, so why don't you cross through dimensions, go to this place Zen or wherever, and kill whatever it is over there that's trying to invade our world.
Right, and Lambda Core, which is like melting down, by the way, as you're moving through it, like, actively in a state of, you know, like nuclear decay.
It's okay, you have a helmetless power suit protecting you from the Lambda radiation.
That's true. And glasses.
That's true.
Yeah, glasses.
I think as much trouble as I had with surface tension, I don't know if that's Lambda Core. It might be, where you have to like restart the reactors on either end of the...
Yeah.
Oh, God. Fucking... If you don't do that in just the right sequence, and I was kind of running out of ammo. There are a few times in this game where like I would miss one step in a sequence of things that you were supposed to do, and I would have to either backtrack, or I would, you know, like I would really struggle to figure out like what I missed. This was one of them. Or it was like, for some reason, I think I had everything set up, and I don't know if I was just not doing it right, or if my game kind of glitched a little bit, but like I was hitting the whatever the switch was to like activate the water to raise it so you could jump out, and it was just not happening. And if you didn't do all the steps in the right order, like enemies would respawn, and so if you're already low on health or ammo, like it was a slog. Like I had to restart, or like restart save points like several times to get that one right.
I like Lambda Core was actually one of the levels that I had the easiest time with. I think by that point I kind of cottoned onto this game's bullshit.
Yeah.
But for me, it was far earlier on in the game. It was and I'm not this clever. I have actually got the levels in front of me. It's power up. where you've
Oh,
got
I was
that.
about to bring that one up.
That one confused the fuck out of me. I'm not going to lie, because you've got to go up, down, turn on, and for the life of me, I could not figure out why I could not activate this switch, because you got that weird tentacle thing coming out of the ground.
Oh
and
yeah,
you've got
that fucked me over too.
There was a room that I had been in like 20 minutes before, which had a couple of very small switches on it that were going to start up the, I don't know, oxygen and fuel and what have you that goes back to that first control room. And I must have been in that room like 6 or 7 times, and I did not see those buttons. And I had to look it up, and it's just like, oh, for fuck's sake. Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was a big learning experience for me.
Yeah, all the while you have that gargantuan enemy there that can like fuck you up if you end up coming out the wrong door.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Just slap you and kill you in one hit.
Yeah.
I had
quick save.
There was a point where I think I had done too much to where I didn't want to like start back again, and I like traversed the tentacle kind of silo like a second time just to go back and hit a button somewhere. I was like, well, I guess I'm doing this.
Yeah. And it's just like
it
so
sucked.
disheartening, because it's like, I've just been there already.
And it doesn't really explain that you can't hurt it. So like I'm at first, the first time I like wasted a ton of grenades on it, because I mean it was at least making it move. So I was like, am I hurting it? I don't know.
My understanding is that it follows the noise, right?
Yes, it follows the noise, but I didn't understand that right away until I kind of looked something up. I was like, oh, that's why it's reacting. I'm not actually hurting it. And so by the time I got through it the first time, I didn't have enough grenades on my return trip to make it back through, because I couldn't distract it with anything. So I had to start over again on that part. That part sucked.
Do you know what level really fucked me over was, you know where the mines are? I'm not sure what the name of the level is. So you have the mines on the outside of that building, and you get onto the inside of it, and then there's all these laser explosives, and and you have to go through it without tripping them, and they're all over the fucking place. But there's this one particular part in that level where you go around a corner and a head crab jumps out at you, and 9 out of 10 times lands right in the path of a laser, and it blows up the entire thing. It's game over.
Oh, is that the one with the
game over.
Is that the one with the lift right in the middle?
Yeah, I think so, because you have to use the lift in a certain way to like jump across onto a box.
There's loads of boxes and loads of lasers everywhere, and
and there's like a big missile, like a big bomb hanging from the ceiling on it.
I'll be honest with you, I was the one who fucked that up first time round, because I just went in guns blazing against those head crabs, and I was like, I triggered off the bombs. So that one's on me.
I did that too. Then I tried to get sneaky, and then like I knew where the head crabs were, and I'd snipe them with the crossbow, and then the head crab would be like, nope, I'm just going to jump into this laser beam anyways, and then blow us all up.
I don't know, that might have been that. Was that surface tension?
I think it's part of it, yeah. It was like,
because that is easily the longest level in the game, and if I was going to quit anywhere, it was going to be there, because that was the helicopter. Oh my god, the helicopter! I mean, what the fuck? It just knew where you were at all times. There's enemies everywhere. There are head crabs coming out of the goddamn sand, and I am crawling through this level. Oh, and all of a sudden there are mines there. Why not? Because everything else is trying to fucking kill me, so the ground might as well do it as well. And it's just like, it was just such, and I was begging for this level to end, and it just kept going. And I got to a point, and, this is not a fault of the game. Maybe it's a fault of the PS2 game, but I got to fairly far through the level, and there was a tank and all of this stuff, and I got past the tank, and I got into the next section, and the game just fucking up and crashed. And I lost all my progress right back to the start of the level, because I was quick saving, so I had to shut the game off, turn it back on, and the quick save doesn't hold. It's just the main save that you do. And I was ready to cry or quit or something at that point, because I had, about halfway through this game, I had such a bad time. And maybe it's the fact that this is one of those blue PS2 games, which, if you don't know, the blue ones I think were like CD-ROMs back in the early days of the PS2, before they started using the clear like DVD
interesting.
one. So it's a much smaller space. It's a much smaller data
There's not enough
storage.
disk space. Yeah, there's not
That's
enough
the one.
storage space. Yeah.
And it got to a point where every time I was the quick save actually started to crash my game. And as you can imagine, like, maybe it's because I was abusing it, I don't know, but it started to crash my game every single time. So I found that what I had to do for the back half of this game was literally open up the menu, save manually, come back out, progress a little, open up the menu, save manually, etc., etc. And as you can imagine, that I definitely put a damper on my experience of this game.
Take a step, save. Take a step,
Yeah,
save.
That's what it felt
does
like.
kind of break up the gameplay flow when you feel like you have to save all the time, or else you're gonna mess something up.
Took me out of it.
Yeah.
Immersion-wise, it's just, I don't know. Oh, I've been needing to get that off my chest about.
I mean, we've played games. I've played games, just a couple within the last year, where it's like, yeah, you see a helicopter and you should be able to shoot it down. This is not one of them, unfortunately.
I mean,
Like,
I think technically it's possible. I mean, I had done it before on that ridiculous climb up the mountain face. I did get a rocket launcher, and I could actually take one of the helicopters down. I was just like, well, look, get me. And
yeah, I was gonna try to do that,
brothers
and then
came and
it like passed me, and then it was gone. I was like, I
Oh,
kind of
no,
want to shoot that helicopter down, and it's like, oh no, it just flew away.
Didn't realize until way too late that you could actually change the mode of the rocket launcher to have the rocket follow the laser like you do in Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
So I was just like straight shooting rockets and missing all the time.
Oh,
I would actually prefer to
I did
straight
not know
shoot
that
the
either.
rockets, because I had more problems with it locking on, and then like
it would
your
go
target
over it,
would move.
right?
Yeah, it would
Yeah.
miss. Especially the final boss. Like I really wanted to use the rocket launcher, but the way that it was set up, and I couldn't be bothered to fix it. But it was like
I did
I
more
was
harm
just
to myself with
overshooting
the
it.
rocket launcher on that thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that final boss, I have to admit, that's probably one of the hardest final bosses, because I want to say something before we get into that.
yeah.
When you get the powered up power suit there and you get the long jump, it does not tell you how to do it.
If you guys hadn't told me, I wouldn't have known. I would not have figured that out.
I had to look it up. I forgot how to do it, and it's like you have to hit crouch and jump at the same time to do the long jump, and it's just like, why not maybe a 5-second explanation? You can have a 40-minute intro cutscene, but you can't take 5 seconds to explain to me how to do this long jump.
Yeah.
Right. And
Now,
like,
I wonder if...
It's something that would have been in the manual, but also like at this point in PC gaming, like they should have like a little, if you're introducing a mechanic late game, you should tell the player how to do it.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
No question.
Like,
yeah.
I was trying to make these jumps, and admittedly in Zen the gravity is lower, so I was just like, well, okay, obviously I can jump higher than on Earth, so there must be a way I can make this jump. I mean, that's why I can float a little bit, right? Wrong. About 10 or 12 tries, I was just like, guys, what am I doing wrong here?
Yeah. The other thing it doesn't explain is that you can jump and crouch at the same time to reach taller like crates and stuff when you're doing the like kind of the platforming stuff.
Yeah, you have to know that, because there's some crates that you need to jump on top of to move forward. And again, like, I get back in the day this came with a game manual, but it doesn't come with a game manual on Steam anymore. And the game, like, I bought the game on like a box and a disc, and when Steam came out, I was able just to put in the CD key, and it would port it over to Steam for me, so I don't have the box and the booklet anymore. And they really needed to put a little update in that, just to say, hey, I know you don't read the manual anymore. Here's a picture on the wall to show you what you need to do.
Or a digital manual available or something. Like, I had to look up I got to a point where I was in the train section where I was like, I'm just going to play with a guide now, because I want to make sure that I'm doing things in the right sequence and not wasting my time here.
Sure.
Oh, I used after that level we just talked about, I was all about the player's guide after that, or the walkthrough.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
that was a slap in the dick.
I tell you what, I had to ask questions about Neolenth or whatever it is, that final boss, because I could not for the life of me figure out what I was doing wrong on that thing. I mean, you say, Brian, you say that the final boss is difficult, but I think it's difficult by pure bullshit design.
Yeah.
I think
that's part of it.
I think it's more a thing of a mission rather than an act of like purpose, because for all that this game does well, I mean, the boss fights, and mercifully few and far between, but they're not particularly well designed. And I was talking to you guys while I was playing it. Like, I gave up. I gave up on that boss fight. I told you as much. I mean, all right, I came back and I finally did it, but at one point I was certain that I was done with the game on that boss fight.
Yeah, you seem pretty done with it.
I was inventing all kinds of new curse words when I
when you finally got to the point, like as you're fighting him, he's shooting the purple beams and then the teleport beam at you, and you're hiding behind the pillars there, and it took me forever to realize maybe I should just shoot the yellow crystals, because I wasn't using the guide on my first time on this. And then he hit me with the teleport thing, and I thought I hit a checkpoint. I'm like, yeah, the game's about to end. I spent like way too long in that teleport world, not knowing that I had to go back and re-engage in the fight. I was fucking pissed. And I read the manual because I was stuck there, and I was like, yeah, that just sends you down, get more ammo and shit, and then go back and fight. I'm like, well, son of a fucker.
Ryan, like, first of all, agreed, but like I got to the point where I was saving so often in that fight, because if I got hit by one of those green teleporter beams, I would just reload, because it takes you through to this pit.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I appreciate the health, I appreciate the ammo and everything, but you've got to scale up this basically this tower on these tiny little platforms, and I've already told you how shit the controls on this game were. I could not get out of this pit. Dude, for the life of me.
How many times did you only get hit with the green beam the one time? Because there were 3 different possibilities of places you could get warped to, and that was by far the hardest one. You only went to one? Because I got hit with it several times. It was a long fight.
Once I realized that a lot of my for the final fight I used a ammo code because I was getting tired of running out of ammo, but once I realized I could hide behind the pillar and he couldn't hit me for the life of him, and then I shot him for I don't know how long. I must have put the code in like 4 or 5 times before I had to go back to the walkthrough and realize you had to jump up and shoot him in the head.
Well, this is it. I mean, like, I understood from what I was reading that his head would open up and you'd get a chance, because you have to destroy the 3 crystals on the walls first, because they basically heal him, I guess. And everything I was reading was saying that, eventually his head will open up and you can use these bounce pads to go over him and take your pot shots at his brain. Fair enough. I thought, that makes sense. But this guy was not opening up his brain for the longest time. And what I didn't realise, and what nobody was saying, is that you have to do enough damage to him after those crystals are gone to get rid of all of those floating orbs around him. And only then, and after a fair amount more damage, will he open up his head for whatever reason. And Jesus Christ, what a bullet sponge he turned out to be.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was a problem.
And every time you block one of his teleport beams, it spawns in another enemy. It's just like...
yeah.
What the fuck?
There was a point where I was like, I would be kind of working on it and getting those little red orbs taken care of or whatever, and he would hit me with a green beam and I would just be like, oh, thank fuck, just like give me a break. Like I would use that time where I was like warped out to just kind of like catch my bearings, maybe get a little bit of health and ammo and go back into it. And then it just
I was reloaded.
Such a slog. It was
as soon as that beam hit me, I reloaded. And same for when, never mind that I'm hiding behind this pillar, somehow his purple beam still found a way to hit me, and it's just like,
right.
What do you want from me at this point?
Yeah, you take a lot of damage from those beams.
Yeah.
My strategy was to park right underneath them and kind of do like a little bit of a spin underneath, like do like a tight circle, and then just shoot up into it. And then I had a really hard time once all those little orbs disappeared and the head opened up. I knew I was supposed to launch myself with those little like weird trampoline things. And I couldn't tell if it would just launch you naturally or if you had to actually jump also to get a little extra lift. But like every time it would like kind of lower itself to you, and then you would do the jump, and then it would just like slowly rise out of your reach. It's just like, motherfucker. And
Do you know
like
what it was,
there were a
Sam?
few times, yeah, where it would like slowly rise and then shoot a green beam as it was doing it. It's like, you're just a fucking shit. Like,
I don't think those platforms, those boosts, they're not all as powerful as each other.
no, I think there was one in particular that actually got you high enough to do it.
And there was no indication about which one it was.
Nope, trial
No,
and
it was
error.
all trial and error,
Oh.
and it's so disorienting when you're warping out and warping back in. So it was like, which one worked and which one didn't? It's just
There's
kind
no
of luck
way
of the
to
draw.
know. There's,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I suppose if you're like a die-hard Half-Life player, then you probably know the maps like the back of your hand, and fair enough. But I was just like, I just want to shoot this giant alien baby in its brain so I can go home.
Yeah, and at this point, you're like, I just want to be done.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just remember, Alan works at a hospital, so he's shot babies.
Alien babies.
I just
Alien
like,
babies, yes.
all I could think while I was
Weird
doing
way
this
to-
is like, this is Boss Baby.
Boss baby. He's a baby and he's a boss.
Yeah, you started talking about Boss Baby in the chat, and there's that movie named Boss Baby. I'm just
Yeah.
like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
The Boss Baby.
Because I have a young kid who's watched Boss Baby like 1,000 times.
It's a boss
There you go.
and it's a baby. It's a boss
They're
baby.
kind of the same shape. Big,
Yeah.
big old
No,
head. And
All right, what's your weapon of choice since we've basically killed the enemy with our conversational skills?
there was some
what?
good. There were some good weapons in this game.
There were some cool weapons, yeah.
I mean, right off the bat, the crowbar is excellent. It's iconic. I've already
Oh
said
yeah,
that.
iconic. Yeah.
Do you know what? Maybe a sleeper pick, maybe not. But I found that the crossbow was overpower as fuck.
Oh, yeah. And
I think
the Colt
it's
Python.
balanced by how slow it is.
It is, but
Yeah.
that's how I beat the final boss. That crossbow just like ate through those orbs like nothing. Not even the
Yep.
rocket launcher was doing as much damage.
No,
And
yeah.
I love they brought the crossbow back for Half-Life 2.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Well, that
Yeah.
that gives Half-Life 2 a chance. I'm
The
gonna have to play
crossbow
it.
actually took out those like triangle things that you're supposed to destroy, those crystals that you're supposed to
So
destroy
quick.
before you fight the baby. I had like, I think I only had to reload it once and just kind of pray that I wouldn't get hit with something, but basically like 2 shots with the crossbow on each one destroyed it, and I just made quick work of it and then just went to town on the rest. Like
100%.
the Colt Python is perfect for, like, I tried to use it as little as possible, and you could only carry 36 bullets, which sucked. But the flying enemies, which we didn't mention but fucking suck, each of
Yes.
those would take
Yeah.
2 shots from the Colt Python. So if I got sucked into the whatever dimension or whatever room fighting the boss where there were a bunch of those flying enemies, like, I would just kind of strafe around and hit them each a couple of times with the Colt and then back at
I
it,
did.
I guess.
That Colt was like, some of the enemies were just one and done with those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that Colt was like probably my go-to weapon when I had the ammo for it.
Yeah.
Otherwise-
sure.
Obviously,
Yeah.
you're switching between the 9mm and the submachine gun. That's where you're getting most of your
Oh, I'm-
gravy for this roast beef.
Once I got better weapons, I never once went back to the pistol.
No.
You know me.
I did because
You know me. I'm a
I have that-
shotgun. I'm a shotgun guy.
yeah, I have that Final Fantasy thing where I don't want to waste all my items.
yeah. Fair.
So, you know, you go to the 9mm pistol, which is weak as fuck because, you know, you only have, 1,000 shotgun rounds or some shit like that. But there was, did you ever get those little things that you squeak and you throw them and they go chase an enemy and blow up? I think they're called
Nope.
the snarks.
Oh
did
yeah,
not
yeah,
know.
like your own little head crab things, right?
I only
Yeah,
I only
except
hurt
for if
myself
there's
with
no
those.
enemy, they come
Yeah.
back on you.
Yeah.
That's right. That's true.
I
Yeah,
was
there was a
like, my-
certain area. Sorry, Sam.
No, it's like, my experience with that is like, I tried it once and I hurt myself. I was like, well, fuck those. I'm never using them again.
I tell you what, there was a certain area where I was crawling through a vent, and then the rest of the vent fell through into a room full of dudes, and it's just like after I'd gotten killed there a couple of times, I was just like, well, let me trigger the the animation where the vent falls through. Then I'm going to back up so I'm still in the vent, and then I just sent a bunch of those dudes down, just threw them into the room, and they just cleaned house. It was brilliant. I love the way he carries them as well, where they're just kind of looking at you like I owe them money or something.
Yeah.
Just like, brilliant. Brilliant when they worked.
No, the hive hand there, the one that shoots the little bugs at the enemies. What'd you guys think of that one?
I like that it reloaded itself. That was very useful.
That's true, yeah.
I didn't. Yeah, that's the kind of wasp one. I didn't use that one very much. Like some of those exotic, like the alien weapons, I didn't really care for.
No, like all the let's call them human weapons were good, and the alien ones I found kind of garbage. Like especially like you had the is it the Tau cannon?
Oh yeah,
that one
One
was
that
pretty
shoots
good.
like the laser beam, super strong, but you run out of power real fast.
Oh
Very
yeah,
fast, yeah.
yeah, definitely.
I would
I
use
found-
that in a room where I've got like 3 or 4 like heavy enemies, and like
Yeah, you got those big
getting
guys,
wiped
didn't
out.
you?
Yep.
That was very useful, and that hive hand as well. I found very good for those as well. And then you've got like the really big bastards who, it's just like find a doorway and just throw grenades through it at it and hope for the best. I think that's just before you get on the train, and when I still had hope in my heart, because that leads to on a rail, and I'm not going there again. You just get that one big fucking dude in I guess the rail station or whatever, and I was literally just hiding and just throwing grenades through the door at him, and it seemed to do the job.
You're supposed to lure him to an area and then flip a switch, and then it gets electrocuted.
I figured that out afterwards when I went to that room and thought, what the hell is this all about? And then I pulled the switch. I was, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So there
I could have
was
still had grenades at this point.
True. Yeah, this is something I forgot to mention that kind of bothered me about the final boss is like both the ball sack spider and the boss baby are really like kind of the only, like the first and only true bosses that you're actually in a fight with. The rest are just like avoidance or strategy, where like one, you're either like running away from and avoiding, or you have to like use environmental, contraptions and things to like counter it. So like there's that one where you call in the airstrike. There's the one where like we just talked about, where you lure them and then you have to flip the switch and electrocute it, stuff like that. Like the tentacles that are coming out of the floor, which you don't really fight, you just distract and like kind of traverse the space and then zap it later. Like that kind of stuff, I don't know, like it's fun because it's problem solving and you have to figure out how to get past these things, but it kind of puts you in the mindset that like I'm not here to fight anything that's much bigger than me. And then so suddenly when you have to do it at the end, it's like now I'm not prepared for this because like I've not actually been in a real fight this whole game, and now we're kind of changing it up. So that was kind of challenging from that perspective.
The former that you're talking about there plays more well with this style of game, and from a story perspective as well. It just makes more sense that this theoretical physicist is beating these big bosses with his smarts, much less his like brute force.
Yeah.
So from a story perspective, that makes, and I did enjoy that a lot more. I mean, all right, granted, I didn't use it against that one in particular, but it's just like once I realized that that's something I could have done, I was just like, okay, well, had I figured that out, that would have been a really clever way of dealing with this situation. And it's just like that. I like that kind of thing. It is literally the straight up gunfights with an impossible boss, and it's just like I'm just reloading and getting nowhere. This is not fun. Like figuring out a puzzle to beat a boss in a game, like that's fun and it makes sense.
Right, because at least you know what you're getting.
Yeah, you're right. It kind of steps on its own foot at the end there. I never really thought about it that way, where you're using intelligence. Like obviously Gordon isn't military trained. He's a nerd from MIT, and he just happens to be thrust into a situation where he has to be the hero. But that final fight, it would have been better if you had to fend off the big baby and then like find a big boulder. You have to find out how to drop a boulder on its head or something. You're right. They could have done better. You know what?
yeah, it's
Scrap
like-
the game, start over again.
You know what
Yeah.
you do. You know what you do. Those crystals that are around the final boss are the same crystal that you've used at the start of the game to cause all of this. You know, somehow, some way, Gordon finds a way to overload those crystals, which causes a second resonance cascade, which is how the whole thing is solved somehow. I don't know, by science. And you know, the very thing that caused this problem in the first place is how he fixes it.
Yeah.
I like that.
I don't know,
Off the top of my head.
Way to piss on one of my favorite games there, bud.
I'm already getting cancelled for this. I know it. Like
Yeah.
I have been dreading talking about this game for ages because, you know, it is so beloved and held in such high regard. And you know, I was just like, I've got some negative things to say about this, and I was
Do you
just like,
want to know what's
do I fake
funny
it?
about that? Yeah, do you want to know what's funny about that? Is this was supposed to be an episode about Halo, but we're putting that off until, you know, the remake comes out. That way it's more relevant. And had it been Halo, our positions probably would have been reversed. Because I have never got on with Halo where I get on with this game. So I know where you're coming from.
I
I
prefer
get it.
Halo. I've got some shit to say about that game as well. Looking at you, the fucking library. But you know, it's. I don't know, I guess I'll get into it when we wrap things up. But
I mean, we could start now. I don't have much else to say except there are alternate endings to the game. What ending did you end up with? Because
there's two choices, right?
Yeah.
There's the one that sets up Half-Life 2. Well, it doesn't set up Half-Life 2, but Half-Life 2 uses it as its setup, where you take the G-Man's offer and you go into stasis until they need them. Then the other one, you get sent to the basically back to that Zen land where you're outnumbered and have no weapons, and
oh shit,
apparently you're supposed to die.
Oh wow,
Yeah, they just kill
okay.
you.
So, because he now who the fuck is this guy? Because he just kind of he pops up
They
at the end.
never explain him. Yeah, he's throughout the entire game. You'll see him walking into doors and stuff like that.
I don't think I ever
And
saw
he's
him.
there right from the beginning.
Okay, I don't know
Yeah,
if I ever picked up on that, but yeah, like because he gives you that choice, and I just said, all right, I'll just went through the door and into the thing, and the game ended, and you know, I figured that was so. If you refuse his offer, then he basically just strips you and kills you, or leaves it to the.
Well, he sends you to Zen, and you're just overwhelmed with the amount of enemies. And then, I don't know if it's a mod, but there is somebody online who actually played the level, quote unquote, and got through the whole thing. But from
That's
talking to my
interesting.
brother, it might have just been a mod.
Oh, I can imagine this game's been modded up and down.
One thing I kind of figured that this guy was just kind of he was part of some sort of conspiracy of, I don't know what, you know, because obviously all I'm going off of is the story of this game. He seemed kind of outside of the whole thing. Like this is a setup to see if Gordon would be successful at kind of traversing this, and basically like they've created a super soldier who's, you know, obviously a brilliant theoretical physicist and then also like kicks some ass. So they're like, okay, we got a job for you.
So what
you know,
so
you
what
can
you're
take
saying
it or
is
not.
he's kind of an interdimensional Men in Black.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it almost felt like the Matrix to me, where, and this is before the Matrix, but it almost felt like, you know, like Gordon is Neo, and they're like, this version of Neo, like, you know, is the one or whatever. Like this version of Gordon is the one that, you know, successfully dealt with this whole situation, and we don't have to reset anymore. Like, this is our guy, so let's put the choice in front of him.
That's a cool theory.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just kind of interesting. I unfortunately was like looking around in the train car, and I was like, oh, is there, you know, what's going on in this train car? You know, is there anything else in here? Is this a trick or something? And while I was looking around in the train car, the time expired, and he banished me to the whatever.
Oh, shit.
So I was like, well, fuck.
There
And the
you
only
go,
way I would have
there's
been able
Sam
to...
again.
Yeah, I know. I should have saved right in the train car, because the only other way to, like, see what the other ending was to look it up, or else I would have had to fight Boss Baby again. I wasn't about to do that.
I am so glad I didn't get sent back to Zen.
Yeah. Nope, that's what I got. After all that, I was like, well, there's a nice thank you for your service. It's just like, fuck.
Wow.
No, it was interesting. I like how it left it very open ended. You knew Half-Life 2 was coming out, kind of like how Half-Life 2 Episode 2 left it very open ended for Half-Life 3, which we're going to get any day now.
I'm sure it's just around the corner.
Oh yeah.
Basically, Half-Life 3 is at the bottom of Black Mesa and it's struggling to get inside a vent. As soon as it figures that out, you'll get your game. I don't know. I will play Halo. I will play that as well because we're gonna have to. But I will play Half-Life 2 at some point because I do kind of want to see where this goes, and I can imagine that all of its gripes that I have.
Yeah, with the Source engine, Half-Life 2, plus it was the orange box. It was kind of adapted better for consoles. It is a much better game than Half-Life.
Rad.
Yeah.
I'm into it. All right, shall we do the thing?
Wrap it up.
Yeah, the score. Who wants to? You know what? Let's have Alan go first. And what score are you giving? Keep in mind that I think you might have had a better time with this if you played on PC. Maybe not the best time because it is still very challenging and there's still some weird janky elements to it. But I'm sure playing on the PS2 version doesn't help. But
no,
yeah,
probably
give it
not.
a score based on PS2.
I wish I wasn't setting the bar here, but here we go. This is probably my last ever episode of Retrotopia.
No, it's not.
I was genuinely looking forward to playing Half-Life. As I said off the top, it's one of those games that I felt I kind of had to play. It was like one of those, oh my god, you've never played and you're a gamer. Like, what the fuck are you doing? So I am glad that I've got it checked off of my list, but I'll be honest, I did not enjoy my playthrough of Half-Life, and I'm very sad to say that because I wanted to feel the magic of this game, and I can see full well how this game back in its day was revolutionary. I'm not an idiot. I can see the polish. I can see, like, visually I thought it was stunning. Even now I thought a lot of what it was doing is, it felt ahead of its time, if that makes sense visually. I think that's probably a lot of it being down to it's a PC game. It's always going to look better than what I'm used to. I loved the level design. Like, we talked a bit about the levels, and yeah, there were a couple that really fucking pissed me off. I found that was more due to like bullshit sort of I don't know what the combat equivalent of a jump scare is, but enemy placement and all of that was just geared up to like just kill you outright and have you go back and try again. And it's that trial and error. I'm not averse to a bit of trial and error in games, but when it's literally every step you're taking, something is just bursting out that you couldn't possibly have foreseen happen. That's where all that quick saving came into play, and that's where I started to lose the immersion of the game. And, storyline such as it was, I did enjoy the story, but I felt like I was missing out because I was just reloading, playing, and it was just like it was taking me out of the story. That said, I found the objectives of the game, for the most part, were quite easy to follow, and I think that's because, in a lot of ways, the level design, never mind the enemies and the traps and everything like that, the level design was quite spectacular. I thought the maps were really well thought out and really well designed. So it kind of made sense where you needed to go, when you needed to go there. So I didn't really have a problem with that. Enemies are cool. It's, like I said, it's kind of Doom. Aliens or demons, it's all the same thing. Just give me a shotgun and off I go. We didn't really touch on the music because there isn't really any in this game. There is a bit, but I found the lack of music to be really good at setting the atmosphere. Like, it really sold a sense of isolation. And the menu screen, I was getting very frustrated loading and reloading this game and having to go back to the main menu, and that main menu music was playing, and my wife was just sitting there, full well, just watching me get frustrated with it. And she's just like, "Well, at least the music slaps," and I have to agree with her. It was the menu music is very good, but the atmosphere is very well done in this game. I just It was just the gameplay, man. Just the controls, which again maybe is PS2 specific. I couldn't say. It's almost certainly better on PC, but I've got to talk about the experience that I had with it. It controlled like arse. I was struggling all the way, and anything on a narrow ledge or a platform or one of those tiny little bridges, I was just having the worst possible time with. I don't know. It did a lot right, but I didn't enjoy playing it, if that makes sense. Fuck. Do I really want to give Half-Life anything less than a 7?
Oh, the eternal question.
I know, and this is I'm gonna lose all credibility. You know what? I'll give it a 6.75. Because I don't think 6.5. I think that's disrespectful. But 7 sort of implies that I enjoyed it fine, and I didn't. It did a lot right, and I appreciate its historical relevance, but I did not have the kind of fun that I was hoping for playing this game. And I'll see myself out, and I'll return all of my jammy dodgers.
No, you keep your jammy dodgers. That's a fair assessment. Especially like we have to consider sometimes that, not all of us have played every game, and so we're gonna play something after the fact that might be beloved by, many or some, and realize that, that game experience might not be the same as it was at the time.
Yeah, I
Or it
definitely
might be,
wish
yeah.
I played this back in the day and on a PC. I think it would have been something quite special.
Yeah.
Would it changed you?
Would have made me the man I want to be today.
All right, Brian. Let's go with you now. I'll round it out at the end. What do you think? What are you giving this game?
Well, I did play it on PC. It's one of the first games I did play on PC, and I loved it because this is kind of my initiation into PC gaming. My first ever keyboard and mouse, not real-time strategy or games like that sort of thing. And it was fun, like for me, for being somebody who's mostly at that time an RPG player, playing this first-person shooter, it was just through and through, it was a good time. I didn't really think too deeply into the story. Even to today, I probably couldn't tell you about any twists or anything like that. Like, I was looking at the wiki while Alan was talking, and near the end of the game, you find out one of the scientists has been calling these creatures from Xenon the entire time secretly, and it was just like, I didn't know that until this very moment.
Oh, shit.
So, even though Half-Life has a good story, the superficial story that is kind of implanted on top of this game, where that these creatures from a different dimension are coming in, they're attacking, and the government's trying to shut it down. That's good enough for me, because it was pure fun. The weapons are fun. The crowbar, walking around with that and crowbarring everything you can crowbar is just a good time. And the fact that they're still supporting in 2025, like I said, they just had the 25th anniversary update. Plus, they also have this ported over to the Source engine, which is the Half-Life 2 engine, the engine they used on Left 4 Dead 2 and Counter-Strike 2 and Team Fortress 2. So it's a really good engine, and this game is built on top of it. On top of that, you have the offshoot games, Opposing Force and all those games that are also just really fun to play from different perspectives. Plus, it really built a universe without even knowing it was building a universe, because a lot of the characters were repurposed into these now, staples, like Eli Vance as one of the ones I mentioned earlier. He is a character that was just a scientist. You have Barney the guard, who is a big part of Half-Life 2's beginning. So it's this game holds a lot of nostalgic value to me, and I still play it, and when I do play it, I know there's been better games. There's been better first-person shooters out there. I'm not even going to lie on that one. I mean, even Half-Life 2 makes this game look almost irrelevant, but it is really one of those games that, you know, if you want somebody to cut their teeth on a retro-style game, this is probably one of the games that would be the easiest one to get them to, you know, cut their teeth on. And I don't really have anything to add on top of what Alan said, because he really did summarize it quite well, even though he did play the PS2 version and I played the PC version. But I'm just going to quickly score this, and I'm probably going to go with a higher score than Alan. I'm going to go with an 8.5. I'm going to go that because it looked really good because it did have the update. Alan's right. The atmospheric sound is better than music 9 out of 10 times. The controls for me were great. The story is, well, like I said, is a superficial story on top of their deeper story, was still better than a lot of games nowadays. All in all, enemies are fun, characters are interesting, built this entire Half-Life universe, even though we've not gotten anything in over a decade. 8.5 out of 10 is my score there, Sam.
Okay. Over 2 decades.
Has it been over 2 decades?
Yeah, I think Half-Life 2 came out in 2004.
Yeah, but any minute now, guys. Any minute.
But they released Half-Life Alex, which retconned the ending of episode 2.
That's like
that's
a
a
VR game,
one,
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but I had to watch the video of Half-Life Alex, because like I said, the ending of that game redoes the ending of episode 2, Half-Life 2 episode 2, which is like a huge ass cliffhanger. Which really, what sucks about there being no Half-Life 3, or at least an episode 3, is that it was a fucking big cliffhanger. Not only was it such a big cliffhanger, it linked the worlds of Portal and Half-Life together.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay, don't say anymore. Don't say anymore.
Yeah.
So it was anyways, so I guess last Half-Life we got was in 2020.
Wow. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense.
People were so excited they stayed home for 2 years because of it. And that's the only reason.
That's the reason.
Right. Yep.
Sam, bring us home.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I had experience with this game, only, kind of on a surface level. Not the surface level of this game, because I didn't get that far, but just kind of, dabbled in it a little bit, knew of it. I don't know if I ever played around with the multiplayer on PC back when my dad was playing, but yeah, I kind of knew it more from that perspective of, this is a kind of a game changer as far as technological improvements. Like the engine behind it was and is still used in a lot of ways for modern games. I don't know if it's used now still. I think it's been kind of, most things are done in Unreal Engine, right? Brian, you're the expert on that. So I'd be talking out of my ass. Yeah, I think I'd be talking out of my ass otherwise. But yeah, I mean, this was influential and really set the tone for a long, long time. So I guess I understood it from that perspective. The memories that I had of Half-Life were actually, I had also dabbled in Half-Life 2 at some point, and never got very far in that one either. But it has the same sort of, vibe where it mixes puzzle solving and combat in a 3D space in a way that really hadn't been done before, and I really kind of appreciated that. Like, it's I mean, you put it best, Alan. It's like Doom for mathcore nerds or whatever. Like, it is that, like, it's the cooler version where, like, it's a shooter, but you have to figure out all these tricks and puzzles and things, and that I appreciate, because you see that influence today where a lot of shooters, instead of being like the red card, green card, blue card, whatever, move through this linear space, you have more puzzle solving and jumping over things, and
Metroid
and that all really started with Half-Life. So I think I need to give credit where credit is due there. I had a lot of the same issues with it that you had, Alan, even though I was playing on PC. Like, I did think he was pretty slip-slidey. Sometimes the speed that he travels is just too much, and, you know, we did talk a little bit about how that might be due to, you know, processing speed, you know, intended versus the actual output of your PC. So that might be a modern problem and not, you know, so much a problem at the time when it came out.
I looked it up. That's not it.
Oh, okay. Well, then he's just on speed. I had problems with the ladders. I did have some problems. Like, I would get this like just absolute like butthole clench feeling when I was trying to like move through space where I knew there was like shit that could insta kill me, like fan blades or fucking tentacles or electric arc beams all over the fucking place, and you have to kind of sprint through these like platforms with there were like two or three specific spots in the game where I was just like running asshole clenched trying to get up ladders and across, and just fucking ridiculous. And as soon as I would make it through that door, it was like save for the love of fuck. I don't know, I'll give it a score because I did enjoy my time. The end really was out of left field for me. Like I said, it's really weird to, you know, build something on problem solving and combat avoidance when it comes to large enemies, and then suddenly have to fight two of them to round out the game. But anyways, I mean, I could just go on and on. I'm gonna go with Brian. Brian, you gave it an 8.5.
Yeah.
I think that's about where I'm at with this. I think I can appreciate it for what it is and what it did for gaming in the first-person shooter genre, really gaming as a whole. Because, like we said, there are innovations in the way that the story is presented in this game that you see nowadays and that we take for granted. Where, you know, like NPCs interacting with you and talking to you and stuff as you walk by, and kind of spatial audio and all that kind of stuff was really cool at the time and still is. So 8.5, and I say that because I know that Half-Life 2 improves on it, and Half-Life 3 will most likely improve on that, and, you know, we get things like Portal, which I like better, and that. But yeah, this is it's an important one. So, and Alan, don't feel shame for not giving it a higher score, because
I was gonna say first of all, like, cheers, guys. But second of all, has that ever happened before in the history of this show where I gave the lowest score? I don't think it has.
I don't think it has either.
This is kind of what I'm liking about our dynamic, is the fact that we are playing it on different consoles. We're getting different experiences of the same thing, and it's starting to show.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I mean, what a way to round out the year. I gave the lowest score for a game. I think I need to go and lie down for a bit until I feel better.
Well,
here's
so
we're done with the Half-Life talk, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
well, I was just gonna put a real quick aside. Like, that's why if you're a big fan of a game and you had a great time with it, playing it, you know, either at the time or in its original time, don't shit on anyone for their opinion for not liking something, because their experience years later on a different hardware and, you know, different versions of things is going to be completely different from yours. So
I'll combat that statement and say, you know what, shit on me all you like. If it gets you in our Discord, come and give me shit. You know, we'd love to hear from you. Come and tell me why I'm wrong, please.
Yeah, but people that are like, this is the best game ever, and I won't hear otherwise. It's like, well, is it? Maybe, you know, but not everyone will think so. We have to respect that.
Absolutely.
No, we don't.
Brian.
Yeah, what were you gonna say?
I was going to simply ask Alan, how many games is it 2025? How many did you finish?
Oh, this is as good a time as any to look into that, isn't it? And there will be an episode coming up where, again, Alan's annual awesome ranking. It is 74 games.
74, beaten last year's total of what was 64?
I think it was something like 64. Yeah, so I've beaten my last year's record. Yeah, rounded up with Harvest Moon just a couple of days ago. So
yeah, we're gonna eventually have to make that episode Alan's top 75 and then honorable mentions.
Well, so Cool Borders is at the bottom.
school borders suck so bad it's at the bottom of 2025 and 2026, and he hasn't even played it twice.
Yeah, that's always down there. Always down there. See, there's a game I didn't feel bad about shit.
I got a question for you, Alan.
Yeah.
If you finish a game at 11:59 and you start watching the ending cutscene on December 31st and it rolls over into January 1st, did you finish the game in 2025 or 2026?
It's a very, very good question.
When does the game end for you? When you put the controller down, or when the final cutscene or the final ending is over?
I would say probably when I turn the game off. I think so. It would probably It would probably class as a 2026 game. But it's weird. It's like that question, if you take a shit in 2025 and you finish up in 2026, it's same shit, different year.
If I start having sex at 11:59 and I finish at 12:01, did I have sex for a year?
Sure.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Well,
so is my wife.
Guys,
she's asking for a friend.
I would consider like what game you played it the most, what year you played it the most in. Like, yeah, maybe you finished it like at midnight on January 31st or whatever, but you played most of that game in 2025. That's a 2025 game to me.
Yeah, but Sam, if I'm trying to beat my record of 74 next year, I'm going to log it next year. Get myself a head start.
Well, some of them are quite a bit bigger than last year.
Yeah. 37.
All right, this is being the last episode. What are you guys looking forward to for games next year? Like, not for the show, just for games. Like, obviously, Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out. Maybe.
Resident Evil, Requiem.
There you go, Requiem. It's only called Requiem because they can make RE9 out of the first three letters of Requiem.
That's right. Is there anything else?
Oh, fuck. I had one in my mind, and you said Requiem, and now it's all gone.
That Star Wars racer looks pretty cool. I haven't really paid a lot of attention to, like, any directs or presents or whatever they call the events. I haven't been watching those as much lately, but that Star Wars racer looks pretty cool. The RPG looks cool.
That has you written all over it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That RPG looks cool, the Star Wars Old Republic, but it seems like they teased that, but it's really not coming for a while. So I'm not going to hold my breath for that one.
I remember what it was, Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. I'm going to buy it and then not play it. Like, I already know this is how it's going to happen.
Yep. 2027, I think you said you were going to play that when I listened to your sweet, sweet intro for whatever episode it was. Because I listen to us. I have to make sure we're putting out the good shit.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'm just trying. I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
Slay the Spire 2's coming out, yeah.
Cool.
I know this is like not an. That's what it is. 007 First Light.
Yes.
I am game curious on that one.
I do like a bit of James Bond, and it would be nice if it was as good as the ones from our childhood. Well, the one from
there's a game that was announced by what's it called, during an Xbox showcase called Clockwork Revolution, and the Xbox did it again. I'm super excited in this steampunk time-traveling first-person shooter game that has no release date, and it's been like 2 years.
Yeah.
Fucking Xbox has got to stop doing that. Promising the world and fucking delivering nothing.
Oh.
And yes, don't at me about how much Xbox has given us. I know they have. I'm talking about the games where they keep announcing too early.
Don't
get excited until it's a year out.
There's a Bloodstained game coming out. I'll play that.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
What was that? There was a game I was excited about back when, shortly after they announced the Switch 2. It's not related to Switch or anything, but there was a Nintendo Direct that they talked about it. It was like a Zelda-like. Hold on.
I
couldn't tell you.
No.
Mina the Hollower. It's like a little mouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard
that
of
looks cool. Yeah, it looks cool, but I think it was delayed.
God damn it! Just give us the games.
Anyways, I think we're
and
now just having
Wolverine.
a conversation again.
Yeah, we're back to After Dark. After Dark. Well,
that's basically what the After Dark is. If you're interested in joining the Patreon, what you can do at patreon.com/Retrotopia, where you can join for free, or for $2 you can join the Hero tier. and get a whole bunch of perks. Check it out.
Absolutely. And very well said, Brian. So this is our first episode of 2026. So Happy New Year, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for giving us such a great 2025. More to come. Hi there, everyone. We here at Retrotopia couldn't do what we do without the support of our Patreons. And to that effect, we would like to shout out our heroes at the hero tier. So a huge Retrotopia thank you from all of the hosts here to Andrew Wright, Wildcard, Unbuckled Cape, Makeshift Money, Sergeant Ombre, Randy Berridge, BCOS19, J Nasty 15, Chris Kaplane, Jack Datchler, Sir Busts-a-Lot, Big Kid 782, Super Dave, Big Brown Dog, Stud Still Smash, Fallen Snow Kiku, Radmac, Calin Hygus, Old Man Gamer, Raging Demon, Radioactive Hooli, Blue Shell Discharge, The Big Deal, Dylan Jacobson, Game Genius, H, Brother Retro, Shane's World, Ovindali, Brian Spreitzer. So thanks as always for your support, guys. It truly means the world to us and means we can keep doing this little thing that we love so much. Game on.